Hello and welcome to this episode of Reece's Reviews, brought to you by mygeekculture.com.au. My name is Matt, host of this podcast, and see, there we go, I've taken the mantle, all right? Geez, after the...
Yeah,
and my other host, who this podcast is named after, is Reece Cashel. How are you, Reece?
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
And yeah, in this episode, we'll be talking all about movies, which is what,
shocker.
Yeah,
something out of the ordinary.
So we're going back to our square roots of the Letterboxd app, I should say.
Yep.
Going through Reece's account, and let's see what he has actually watched. So it'll be new ones and old ones and so forth, and in between. So get ready for some in-depth analysis of some films. So some of these I haven't seen, some I have. So
cool.
You're just gonna.
Well, it's good to know. I can, at least some of them you'll be able to. I can bounce some things
exactly.
off. Exactly.
Well, we'll start off with the first film. All right, so we'll go with the first film that is from this year. And was this actually released in the cinemas, Reece, or is this available on streaming? Because I've actually never heard of it before.
Please confirm if I'm wrong, but I don't think it got actually a worldwide theatrical release, and I don't think it got released here in Australia. If it did, it was very, very, very small. I didn't actually see it because I saw the marketing of this film at the beginning of the year, and I wanted to see it, and I didn't realize it until it came out on rent on video on demand, where I actually saw it and went, oh, okay, didn't actually get a release.
All right, and this film in particular is called?
It is called Last Breath. Now, this film is based off it's a true story, and it's based off a documentary of the same name that got released a number of years ago. This film stars Woody Harrelson. It stars Simu Liu, Finn Cole. It also stars Myanmar Buring. It also stars, what's his name? Cliff Curtis as well. So it's a good kind of cast, and it's all based around a true story about seasoned deep sea divers who battling the elements, and also the deep sea divers who do go down to the depths of this ocean floor and fix pipelines.
Okay.
So it's one of the most dangerous professions on the planet in a way. So this film, it tells a true story about these three guys who go down to the bottom, which is played by Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole. And it's a true story pretty much based around Chris Lemons, played by Finn Cole, who gets, due to the elements that they're in when it comes to the weather, he gets detached from his cord, and he gets left on the bottom of the ocean for about 30 to 40 minutes. So he's about 250 to 300 meters down on the ocean floor.
That's just
off the coast of Scotland.
Wow.
So he pretty much when he gets detached from his cord, he has about 10 minutes of oxygen left in his tank.
What a slow and
so
painful.
He goes without oxygen for 28 minutes.
Christ.
And so it's pretty much the story about that. And due to the nature of this podcast, we don't go into spoiler territory in some essence. It is a true story, so there are ways you can find out these. This is not a recent story. It's been a few number of years while this has come out along with the documentary. So pretty much, he survived the incident, hence why the film is now being based off the documentary. And what was absolutely incredible about this film is that specialists and medical officers don't understand to this day how he survived.
Crazy.
Like they said, they have some their guesses. They say it could be due to the depth that he was at in the temperature, could be a possibility, but they actually know 100% how he survived, and it just turns out to be it comes down to being a miracle that he actually survived, and it was absolutely incredible. And the way that director Alex Parkinson provided this intensity and the suspense and the drama gave me some essence to a film that released a number of years ago with Mark Wahlberg called Deepwater Horizon. Not to the scale of Deepwater Horizon, when the massive big oil rig blowed up, but with just the idea of the characters and just the drama and the suspense surrounding that. So the film only goes for about 90 minutes. It's a short film.
Okay.
So, but it keeps you engaged throughout it, and it kind of gives you a way to have your eyes open to that profession and how dangerous it is, and what they had to do. Like even at the points of before they leave port, and they have to go out on this ship, and they have to be sensitized to the depths that they're going to. So they're in these tubes for 3 days.
Oh yeah, like a pressure chamber.
Pressure chamber, yeah. They got to pressure themselves down to that depth. So they're on this tube for 3 days for each other, and then they get dropped down to the bottom of the ocean. And so, in the instance of this film, like he was supposed to be away for about 28 days. You're supposed to be away for a month to fix this pipeline and come back, and then he was only away for about 3 days to be sensitized, and then he gets down there, and then he breaks loose, and then he's in there for 40 minutes, and then he comes back. So he's probably only been gone for about a week, and then he has to be dropped back.
So is it a comedy? Is it a horror? Is it a...
No, it's a drama. It's actually a drama. It's a drama film. Absolutely. There's no comedy. Woody Harrelson puts in his little quirks as he does, but he does have some little emotional ties to it as well. And then the fact that they bring in the lead characters, Chris Lemons' sort of emotional state into it as well, being engaged to his fiance and things like that. So, and then the kicker is that he survives, goes back to the mainland, does that kind of stuff, and then the end credits have, as all true stories have, a little pictures about what they do post, like show real life footage, and it shows that they actually, because they didn't finish the job they went out to do because of what happened. It says that the 3 guys went back and finished the job they were meant to do in the first place.
Okay.
So they went back and did the whole thing again. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave this film 4 stars because of just the intensity, and I was just engaged in it. And it kind of gives you a bit of horrifying realization about being that deep down and how dark it is. And then even these subtleties about how Simu Liu's character is trying to save him because he's unconscious on the bottom of the floor. Then Simu Liu's character has to go down and pick him up and then bring him back up to the submerged. And him having so hard trying to bring himself up because it's so hard. And then there's certain ways of Woody Harrelson trying to coach him to come back up to use the elements of the water. Saying, okay, wait for certain breaks and then use the momentum after the breaks of the waves at the top of the ocean to bring him back up. There's certain little intricacies about it. It was very, very intriguing. So the performances was great. I thought the screenplay was done well.
So the attention to detail, I think it's done its job. Science behind it all, and wow, that's going so far deep.
It's
crazy.
It's done its job as well because I don't think unless you knew about the true stories and are switched on to a lot of documentaries that are coming out, you wouldn't actually know about this documentary. And it wasn't until this film was brought to my attention. So now this film has actually done its job where it actually has put the documentary on my radar. And now the documentary is now on my watch list. So I'm going to go back and actually watch the documentary and actually watch the real life footage, the real life interactions and the interviews with the real life people, the divers, and just going to delve into that world and see what actually transpired and what they brought and how well they adapted from the documentary to this film, and hopefully it's not too much dramatized for Hollywood, but they can't dramatize the ending. It is what it is. The ending is what it is. He survived, which is a miracle. So I found it was a very well made film. If you like those survivor stories and filled with a little bit of drama and suspense, and the fact that it's only a 90-minute film is even it's a easy, decent watch. So I think it's definitely worth the while to watch that as well. So
might have to put that on my watch list.
Absolutely, I think you would mind. It's a nice and easy watch. I think you might enjoy it.
Yeah, drama thriller. So and a true story. So it's I'm always intrigued by those. Where did you watch Last Breath?
Okay, yeah. So Last Breath, I rented it on iTunes. So it's not on any streaming service at the present moment. So I rented it from iTunes.
We go from deep sea survival to above ground survival, I guess. So it's, but this time it's away from water and it's down to the dirt and just war war-torn
Yeah.
areas and so forth. So, Reece, please tell me about this next film that you will be talking about.
So next film is a film called Dirty Angels. Now, this film was directed by Martin Campbell, got released last year. It's not a film that did not get a theatrical release in Australia. It's a straight to renting VOD here in Australia. We couldn't rent it. You couldn't stream it anywhere, so I had to rent this on iTunes. Also, this film stars an actress which I've been a big fan of. Seeing how the roles that she takes, because she's just so well versed, and this is Eva Green leading the charge.
Oh yes, Eva Green from Casino Royale.
And
also
she did the sequel through 300. I recently saw her in the French version of The Three Musketeers. She did a French film, a double feature of, and did 2 films of that. So I saw her in that, putting on her awesome French accent and dialect. This film piqued my interest because of the context. I do enjoy the genre of the war side of things, and seeing how they depict it, and seeing how they can bring in the drama in a way, but also bringing it down to reality. And this film is set in 2021, when the United States' withdrawals from Afghanistan, and a group of female soldiers posing as medical relief are sent back to rescue a group of kidnapped teenagers caught between ISIS and the Taliban. Now, that's a very hard topic to take on. A lot of people try to tackle the subject matter of this, and sometimes they do very well. Sometimes they don't. In this one, I think they delivered. There are some things I do have note about things. I bring it down on certain things, but the sheer brutality of it and the realism I find in this film, it kind of sets it apart from some others.
So is this based on a true story or inspired?
No.
Or it's just they got a real life of theme topic and then they've just gone from there?
From my understanding, yes. So it's nothing based on any true stories and anything like that. They took the subject matter of the battle between ISIS and the Taliban, and they created a fictional story around that. So I found the brutality was, and I'm not just talking the brutality of guns and explosion. I'm just taking the brutality of what they depict of how these different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to pronounce. I had a subject that, but it is really brutality and the realism that they depict on screen, which actually gives you a bit of a pause in certain aspects of it as well, and give you some action set pieces which is engaging, and the villainous characters to match it. Like some of sometimes you find some villainous characters, if you really hate them, the performance they've done its job. And I think they did well on this one, just the sheer no quarter that the villains gave in this film. The screenplay I found was well written. The director executed it in a very different manner, which was, I was actually surprised that this film didn't actually get a theatrical release, because there was I know it probably wouldn't have done too well, but just being able to deliver on what he was able to provide in that aspect as well. I found what let it down is that they where you could tell it was a straight to streaming, straight to digital release is in a lot of the action set pieces. They use a lot of the CGI with they've got a lot of the practical action explosions, but when they actually when you actually see them go off, you see that's the CGI part, and then the after effect is the practical. It's very noticeable on those aspects. Plus, a lot of the gunfire, you can see some of it actually is the CGI flash, along with the other blank.
So it's a low budget.
Yeah, I just that part of it was as well, especially also when you see some of the wide shots when it comes to the aircrafts, like the helicopters and things like that. You can very much tell it's CGI and things like that, and some things done on backdrops.
But does Eva Green stand out big time? Like, is it a role that's suited for her, or is it I guess good? She just got it because it's just a name really for the film.
I would say 50-50. Like, she can deliver the action. That's hands down. That she can definitely do. She can bring on the physicality of the role, what's required for the action set pieces that's required. I couldn't get on with the accent that she put that she utilized for the film. That took me a lot. Every time she had those scenes, I couldn't take her too seriously. It kind of took me out of the film a lot of the times when she was speaking, because the dialect that she was using, it was just didn't suit, and she tried maybe too hard in some aspect. I'm not too sure if it was that's what I'm trying to reframe to, but it's just her accent took me out of it a bit, but the performance that she did as good a job as she could do surrounding that, and the action set pieces, she did a fantastic job, especially in the third act of the film. And I think having the great supporting cast surrounding her just delivered even more so. Like, you had Reza Brajaji and as is Kurt, which I've never heard of them before, but they played their go-to people on the ground for her in Afghanistan, and they stood out for me.
Yeah.
Like, these two guys who played the natives and their go-to person to help her out, help her and her team, were standout. Like, they gave nice bits of comedy in there. You very much found the charisma was there for them as well, and you actually really liked those characters. You want them to have more screen time. And then you got other members of the soldier group that Ezra, that Eva led, and one of them was our own Ruby Rose.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought there was an Aussie in this film.
Yeah, which she actually played like, she's she's a soldier, but she's not playing her normal tough, rough as guts and very blunt and that kind of stuff. She's actually playing a little bit more. She has a bit more of a sweeter side to her character, which I actually found very refreshing to see her do. Wasn't just a stereotypical character that she always plays. She actually gave a bit of a different aspect to it. So I found that was very intriguing to watch. So overall with this film, I just found that the story matter was very real, very brutally and realism, and just very much down to the gritty and down to the ground, and very sometimes it's hard to watch at points because you know how real it is, which is all down to the performances of the villains. So throughout it, you had great chemistry between certain of the main characters as well. Some of the dialogue was hit and miss at some points, which gave it a bit of a touchdown for me. And then overall, just the encompassing of the whole film was definitely a well-managed package, except for the ending in a way. I don't think I like the ending ends the way you stereotypically think it's going to end, but I found it sometimes a little bit more abrupt and changes in different ways. So yeah, I definitely will rate this film. I think anyone who enjoys the subject matter and the genre of that is the war side of the films and the drama, the intensity and the drama that is, especially in this modern warfare that it's set in, I think that there's definitely enjoyment to be had, and bring that to a climax throughout that also.
What did you give it out of 5?
3.5.
3.5. Wow. Okay.
So it definitely, I had some cons in it, but I think the pros definitely outweighed the cons in that aspect as well. So
excellent. All right, I'll put that on my to watch list as well.
When we go through these, are you actually keeping a list of all these watch list things you're going to be watching?
Yes. Of course I am, Reece.
So what we're going to do is we're going to quiz in the audience in
He's now putting me to
about 5 or 6 months in a time when we're still doing this, hopefully, that we'll go back and get your reviews on all these movies that I've listed down.
Yeah. You can hold me to it.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. That's when we need our audience to send messages to our inbox so they can keep this man honest and get him to watch these movies that I put down on my list. And because I'm doing the same, I'm doing the same thing for you, because you're giving me things to watch. I will be watching The Naked Gun, the original one, very soon, because you and I are going to be watching the remake very shortly in the next few weeks. So I have to get on to watching the original. So that is on my watch list that you've asked me to watch. So that is definitely on my list. So tit for tat, tit for tat.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair call. Now, stepping away from the war zone, and we're going to a different type of bloodshed, which is the classic horror film. and a classic slasher film. And that is, no, it's not Scream, but we are going to that era, the 90s era of slasher films. And we're stepping into 1997. And what particular slasher film was out then, Mr. Cashel?
It is the one that stars the incredibly gorgeous Jennifer Love Hewitt, the incredibly beautiful Sarah Michelle Gellar, and some people think the very much 90s and still to this day heartthrob that is Freddie Prinze Jr. And that is I Know What You Did Last Summer. With the new film, the sequel reboot film to be recently out in theaters and being released, so I thought I would do my due diligence. We mentioned this in a few episodes ago.
Yep.
I finally got around to watching the original for the first time, so that is what we're talking about today. So before I give my 2 cents and waste our audience time with my breath like I have for these last 20 or so minutes, I want to get your thoughts on the film. First thing, when was the last time you've watched it?
I haven't watched this for a long time. Probably when it was originally still out on VHS. So that's how long. I never saw this at the cinema, but I did see it on VHS. Because I did see its rival or the counterpart, Scream, at the cinema. So I was more of a Scream fan. And so, yeah, I did see this VHS and then probably once on DVD at a friend's party or something like that. But overall, it's a cult classic, and yeah, it's got your, like, for myself, my generation, or my age, of the heartthrobs and anyway, all the really it boys and girls, if that makes sense. So, so this was, and it also came down to a party of, are you a Scream person? Are you I Know What You Did Last Summer person? And I was more or less the Scream person. So, but overall, I did enjoy the film, but I'm just, it's a typical slasher. Well, now it's a typical slasher, but they all came out of the woodwork in the mid-90s when it became a thing. So a lot of slasher films. Like, I'll fast forward to a couple of years later, it was like Valentine or Valentine's Day. So all those ones.
That
came out in like 2000, 2001. And it had, I think it was Denise Richards in it as well and stuff. So
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I was for a second there, I thought you were talking about My Bloody Valentine.
Well, no. There's Valentine, which was also a slasher film, which had the other Buffy person.
Is that
David
Elijah Dushku?
No, huh?
Is that Elijah Dushku?
No. Mr. Angel himself.
Oh, David Boreanaz?
Yeah, David Boreanaz, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
Anyway.
Learn something new every day.
So, yeah, anyway, back to, so it's all part of that whole group. They're all connected type thing. Anyway, but I Know What You Did Last Summer. It was that whole, what are you waiting for? Everyone knows that. And then obviously the parody of Scary Movie. So I think Scary Movie really took the shine off I Know What You Did Last Summer because it was well parodied, even though they parodied Scream as well. So, but there's my way around it. Yes, I have seen. It's been a while. Not my favorite, but I did enjoy it for its time.
Yeah. Okay. My 2 cents in this. I'm in the same boat as you. Granted, seeing as how it's evident enough of this review that being the first time I've seen it, I was in the same boat in relation to Scream. That has been my favorite horror slasher franchise growing up, and I still watch it to this day. And excluding number 3, of course. And with this one, I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed it for the up and coming stars of Sarah, Jennifer, Freddie, Ryan Phillippe as well, and getting in amongst all that. I appreciated I think what we talked about before is now after watching, because I saw Scream and then I also saw Scary Movie, and I knew certain this Scary Movie was intended to take the piss out of I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then after watching the film now, I realized just how much they took homage and took the storyline from I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm like, this makes a lot more sense now. So I enjoyed
amazing.
it.
And then when you go back and watch the Scary Movie or, whatever a parody is, you just go, oh, now I get that joke, but damn it, it was like 20 years too late.
Yeah, I did. Especially certain scenes like you've got, I know what are you waiting for? Or when Ryan Phillippe's character gets slashed up on the balcony. I went like, and when you've got Sarah Michelle Gellar yelling from the stage about asking everyone to what are they doing? And I went, yeah. Now there's all clicking through my brain. So the thing is, I enjoyed it. Because I've seen slashes over the years, nothing surprised me out of it because I already knew who the villain was. Like I picked who the villain was and who the guy with the hook was like within the first act. So I was going, yeah, no, that's him. So I picked it up very easily. It was very much. You can tell that it was very much. I can understand the point of it starting of a franchise like that. Scream because you had Scream, then straight after that you had this. Like they're very
back to back, yeah.
Back to back in a way, you can definitely see that they were trying to boost up with those kind of slasher films, and then the fact that they both spawned franchises, and which Scream did a lot better at the box office and has a lot more successful as a franchise than I Know We Did Last Summer. So, but I still think this one didn't, even though it's a stereotypical slasher film and it's had some good moments in it, I still feel it didn't get. The puns intended, didn't have the same hook that a lot of other films have, as its counterparts and with other films in that generation that got released. Yep. I still think that the cast were great, and even though I have a crush, I think these podcasters identify I have a few crushes on a lot of these celebrities like Margot and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah. Jennifer was great, but I found my character. I actually like Sarah Michelle Gellar's character. I actually got more emotionally attached to her character more than anything else, which is fantastic. And I just found that Freddie Prinze Jr. does what he does best and gives that sympathetic, emotional attachment as well. So the fact that they've got the two characters I find myself being a lot more engaged with. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr.
So were there any parts in it that kind of startled you or caught you off guard, or it was just like, oh yeah, here we go, bam?
I knew it every scene that there was going into a cliche kill scene. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Even that whole point.
Well, do you think though, because of that, because you had watched other movies and bits and pieces that were inspired by this movie, did you think that kind of ruined it for you?
Probably, yeah. The fact that I watched this film, like, what is it now? It's like, so it's 25, 26, 27, like 20, it was at 28 years?
Yeah,
so
28 years, 9,
yeah.
10.
28 years, I've seen this movie 28 years after the fact. I think so. If I watched this film when it got released, which was, I would have been, 11, maybe? Was it 97?
97, yeah.
I wouldn't have been that. So it's 89. So it's 89. I would have been like 6 or 7. So I wouldn't have watched this film until I was in my teens. So if I watched it growing up in that genre, so yeah, I think I was pretty desensitized with a lot of the slasher films.
Yep.
So the fact that I've seen so many and I know so many tropes and I know a lot of plot lines and a lot of storylines, nothing surprised me. Nothing took me off guard and things like that. So that's why I'm hoping that when I will sit down and watch the sequel.
I still know what you did last summer. Yep.
Yeah, I will watch that before I go into watching the sequel reboot one.
And then we'll just forget the one that went straight to DVD.
Yeah, because you told me, you and I spoke when we were talking about it, like you told me I should watch the third one, but I actually spoken to a few people saying, don't. Like, it's got one of the worst rated ones ever. I went, so I'm going to watch the sequel.
I was putting unwarranted, and I was just putting unwarranted pressure on you just so you can, it's like if we go through the American Pie movies and it's like 1, 2, 3, and then instead of skipping to a reunion, we go through all the spin-off American Pie Presents and then go, which don't really have
those ones
much
were
of a connection.
I watched 1 or 2 of them. They were very, very bad.
Anyway.
So when it comes to the exact same principle. American Pie, I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 straight to reunion, and then I think they've been plans to bring out another one. But yeah, I know we did last summer. Yeah, I think I will watch the sequel, and then I'll go straight into the reboot and go from there.
Do you think that this film holds up? Like storyline, scares, or
storyline? I think because it was it did have originality for its time.
Yep.
Like not many people would tackle the fact of a hit and run and that style before. So I think that definitely holds up and definitely gives you that ponder those questions side of things, especially in the young demographic of what the characters are set in. I think that point was very much is one you can definitely relate to, and I think you can definitely find that holds up even to today's standards in that storyline. The horror aspects, I don't think so, because the horror genre has done some great leaps forward in relation to jump scares and being able to. Yes, they've kind of gone too far in a lot of those points where they've abused it and taken away, and then they delve more into the gore more than actually the thriller horror aspect of a lot of things, which is why I love
the build up and the suspense. It's like, he's going to get you, watch out, look out, and behind you.
Yeah, so that's kind of gone away because you don't actually they don't actually
the complete silence that would say be in the cinema or whatever, and then it's like, and then bam, like really loud.
Yeah, so that suspense that horror films are supposed to give you, I think a lot of that stuff has gone away and these days with these,
because the shock value is no longer there. Everyone's become immune to it.
They have, and they very much they're focusing desensitized, yeah, and they're very much focusing on the blood, and they think that that's the way they're going to get people to be scared, is just make them as grossed out as possible, which is why I think by the time the Saw franchise died out, before they were kind of reinventing it in the last 2, they were just pretty much turning into
gore.
Gore porn?
Gore porn, yeah.
Gore porn in a way. So it's just that is. Now, there are still a lot of films in the genre of horror that are gore porn in those aspects, but I find that there are some great films that are being released these days where have that essence of going back to where what we have. And I think, not to toot our own amazing Aussies horn, but I'm going to, the Denny and Michael Filippo, who are Adelaide boys, who brought us Talk to Me a few years ago, and they also released a film this year, actually, which I am still dying to watch. It's still definitely on my plan of things to watch. I can't believe I still haven't got around to watching it, but they released a film this year called Bring Her Back, which they dealt, especially more so in Talk to Me, they work on the psychology and the horror and the suspense more than on gore.
Yep.
And then, but in Bring Her Back, apparently for what I've read, is that they're delving into bringing you both. They're going to give you suspense and hard horror, but also giving you a little bit more of the blood and the body horror as well.
Gotcha.
So I think I'm trailing back to I Know What You Did Last Summer. They did what they can for the time that they had, but I just didn't feel like it was to scratch, because whenever you watch these kind of genre films, you're always going to start comparing them and seeing how they differ from different other films in the genre. And then when I was just watching it, I was just comparing it to putting in my mindset of the 1990s and thinking of Scream and those kind of things, and in the latest Freddy's and the Jasons and the Halloweens and things like that. And you're just thinking, like, in comparison, it doesn't say it tarnishes the genre, but it doesn't live up to the certain height that the other ones do.
Well, so what did you end up giving this film? out of
Pretty
5.
sure I gave it. I'm pretty sure I gave it 3. Yeah, I gave it 3. So it got the benchmark for me.
Yeah, well,
So I gave it a like. It gave it a thumbs up. It is had some good enough content in it that gave me a thumbs up. I liked it. It just didn't give me enough to bump it up above that point because of the tropes and things like that. And I think it just like I am a victim of my own. I'm a victim of my own passion.
Okay.
Because I watch so much of so many different genres that I pick the story. I can pick the storyline in the film within the first act.
And you've become immune and desensitized to it all, and you can kind of somewhat predict.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's pretty much.
And I would have given it 3 stars as well. So me not being a big horror fan, I like comedy horror more than anything because that takes the shine off.
So thinking of horror, how far would you go? Not taking away from comedy horror, how far into horror would you go? What's your if you're thinking about the amazing criteria of horror, what's your benchmark? Would you say, okay, you won't go as like if you say Exorcist, the original is one film,
classic,
and then you've got like or you've got Saw or Halloween.
So I want to go.
Would you say your benchmark is for that?
I'd say I like zombie horror, so 28 Days Later type, or World War Z, and then you got your comedy horror, Shaun of the Dead, and Evil Dead. But I wouldn't. I guess I just don't like slasher films because it's more or less comes down to stupidity by characters. So, if that makes sense.
But you like Scream.
Scream. Well, that's because that was the first one that I had actually seen. So, and that was at the cinema. But it would be that would be my limit. Like that's probably why I don't like the slasher films, if anything. So, because I just find that it's just cheesy as shit. So yeah.
So saying that you would like, I'm saying that would you like
Scream
these
4,
movies?
Like because I remember Scream 3 was like now they're just.
No one likes Scream 3. Scream 4, I think Wes was trying to bring it back, but it failed on some of the. I still enjoyed it because
it
Wes
came back
Craven.
And it did okay. It was more like a tribute to itself. And then
it is better, but the thing is, 4 is at least better than 3.
Yeah, and then 3 was too meta. It was too within itself. It was more comedy than it was horror, and but then 4 was tolerable, and then I just stopped from there. So I gave up. So I haven't seen 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's the thing. I thoroughly enjoy 5 and 6. I feel like, especially with 5, they take it back to the roots.
Well, I'll put it this way:
what the first 2 were.
If anything, if you're friends with Sidney Prescott, you would just avoid it like the plague because you just know that you're going to get hurt.
That's the good thing about the 5th one. That's the good thing about the 5th one. Like Sydney is in it, but she doesn't play a pivotal role until the 3rd act.
Fair enough. But yeah.
So it's based around his new character, and Jenna Ortega is the main protagonist, or one of the main. Yeah. She's the protagonist in the film as well. But
anything in relation to that whole Woodsboro and being blood related or anything connected to the Prescott family is just like.
Well, that's the thing. They with 5 and 6, they're not related to Prescott.
Yeah. Either way, it's.
But this is the thing. I think what we're going to do is I think in maybe a future episode, we might just do like a genre episode when we actually just review a few of the actual genre film. Yeah. And I think horror might be one into it. And I think what we're going to do is we might sit down, you and I wouldn't mind getting you to delve back into the Scream universe and see what you think of 5. And if you liked it at least and you like the characters of the new characters, then you might go into 6. But even better because number 7 comes out next year.
I am a hypocrite because I love Dexter. So, but I guess
But I wouldn't take that as a horror though.
Yeah, because it's all about his kill. But I think it's more or less the. I just don't have a strong connection with all the others. Maybe it was like 4, and that was my limit. Anyway, just shows you how much I know what you did last summer meant because we just got on a tangent. So, but yeah, I know what you did last summer. It's more the iconic parts of like Scream, you got what's your favorite scary movie, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer. What are you waiting for? And
But at least Scream, that's a bit like,
you know what?
it's a tagline you can do. Like, it's kind of like, what's your favorite scary movie? That's a very much it's a hidden trope. But what are you waiting for? Is like, it's something like a specific to a character.
Yeah.
At least with Scream, it's like, what is your favorite scary movie? Anyone could pretty much say it, which is the scary side of things. So
there you go. So that's I Know What You Did Last Summer. Well, there you go. 3 films, 1 kind of newish, 1 definitely newish, and then 1 classic. So, again, thank you very much, Reece, for getting into your movie catalogue and diving in and getting some of those out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we are always open for suggestions. So don't think I haven't taken on board those suggestions. I know a few weeks ago we got recommendations of going into Kill Bill and Quentin Tarantino. Don't worry, I have not forgotten. It's on my list. It's going to be, in the process of watching 1 and 2 very shortly. So maybe keep your eyes open for future episodes. I will cover Kill Bill 1 and 2 in a future episode. Don't worry, the audience member who gave that suggestion, it is on the list. So please keep sending them through. And not just for myself. I know this is called Reese's Reviews, but my co-host here, please throw him under the bus as well. Get some things for him to watch as well.
I've got a couple of classic ones which I've been watching lately. In fact, I can tell you one that I watched recently, and I'll do.
Please go for it.
Okay, well, it's not. I can't really review it right now, but I did watch. This is Spinal Tap in regards to the upcoming sequel. So,
yes, I heard Spinal Tap. Another one was coming. Yep. I've actually never seen any. I actually don't know anything what they're about.
Okay, well, I won't ruin it for you. As well as Team America World Police, I just needed to laugh. So because of all the shit that's going on in the world,
still makes me laugh to this day.
And then another classic one was Spies Like Us. So
never heard. of
that's Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase.
Well, you had me at Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase.
So all classic ones, and I'm currently watching. I'm about to continue watching Heat. So
I actually only recently watched it for the first time last year.
Every time I try to watch it, I keep getting interrupted. So I'm only like 5-10 minutes into the film, so I might have to restart it all over again because it's a long film.
It is a long movie.
Yep. So there you go. There's a couple of them that are on the drawing board.
Yes, so keep telling him to watch some things. Maybe get me to stop talking for a little bit, which get him to talking because he's sometimes a bit more articulate than I am.
Well, if you want to follow Reece on Letterboxd, that's CashelSkyGuy. And if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, I am Matt Fulton .com.au. So without the dots. So there we go. Well, all the details will be in the show notes of this podcast. So again, thank you for listening, and stay subscribed. Feel free to email us at info@mygeekculture.com.au or leave a comment in the comments section on Spotify and or just anywhere at all. So, thank you very much. My name's Matt, and this has been Reece's Reviews for mygeekculture.com.au, produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au. Catch you next time.
See you, everybody. May the force be with you.